morning. Good morning. Our chalice lighting words are, "This is not a small voice," by Sonia Sanchez. This is not a small voice you hear. This is a large voice coming out of cities. This is the voice of Latanya, Kadisha, Shaniqua. This is the voice of Antoine and Daryl and Shaquille, running over waters, navigating the hallways of our schools, spilling out on the corners of our cities, and no epithets spill out of their river mouths. This is not a small love you hear. This is a large love, a passion for kissing, learning on its face. This is a love that crowns the feet with hands that nourish, conceives, feels the water sails, mends the children, folds them inside our history where they toast more than the flesh, where they suck the bones of the alphabet and spit out closed vowels. This is a love colored with iron and lace. This is a love initialed Black genius. This is not a small voice you hear. We light our chalice this morning, honoring all the voices which remind us of the deepest truths of our lives. And hello again. My name is Lois Phillips, and my pronouns are she and her. Our church shares a covenant that we make with one another, a promise that helps to remind us of why we gather and how we want to be with one another. Please rise, embody your spirit, and join me in saying our covenant together. We unite to strengthen the bonds of kinship among all persons, to promote human dignity, and to increase reverence for life's creating, sustaining, and transforming power through worship, study, and service. And if you will please remain standing to sing our opening hymn, 124, Be That Guide.
Be the guide who loves us, stays, rise above the daily strife. Live and light all good you find, help to heal the hurts of life. Be the helper nothing does, stout a friend or taunt a foe. Ever strive for liberty, show the path that life should know. Be the builder, trusting good, bitter though the test may be. Through all ages they are bright, though they build in agony. Be a teacher, faith caressed, move beyond the old frontier. Though the frightened fear that fate, he tomorrow's pioneer.
Welcome to this space of love in a world that's changing so fast, where what was true yesterday may no longer hold today, where masked strangers open fire on the unarmed, where our government promotes hate and fear, division and terror, where so many of our neighbors and fellow Americans say them and mean you or me or us. But love is at the center here, at the center of our music, at the center of our learning and growing, at the center of our governance, at the center of our relationships. Love, unchanging, abundant, holding on to all the colors of the known universe, available to every single being. Love, a steadfast ground upon to rest, a place to call home. Whoever you are, wherever you've come from, whatever your past experiences and whenever you first found your way through these doors, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. My name is Pam Rumancik. I'm a queer, cisgendered, something woman whose pronouns are she and hers. But just like all of you, I have so many identities that I carry with me in the world, so many that I bring, so many that have shaped who I am and how I see the world, and today I forgot to think of a different, unique one to share with you. So think of your own unique identities that you bring, and know that no matter who you are and what those experiences and identities might be, you are welcome here. And now we invite our young and young at heart to come up for a story for all ages, but first to guess what might be in our Wonder Box.
I'll give you a hint. You probably have no idea what this means, but today's service is about a woman named Aretha Franklin. And she was an amazing singer. And she shone her light out into this world. And our service is about shining your light. So what could be in our Wonder Box today? Guess what? Presumably a star. Do you have a guess? A woman, that's a good guess too. Do you want to guess anything? Any other guesses? A squirrel, a shining squirrel, possible. Okay, William. A wrestler. Respect is a great one. Great guess. Okay, William, do you want to open the box? It's a star. It's a yay! Thank you.
But not the flame, nuclear fusion power kind.
Couldn't fit it in the box.
A little too large, like a few million times larger than right?
Okay.
It's not the nuclear fusion kind, just in case you missed that from what William was saying. It's true, it's not. But it is still really good. Let's put the star out where we can all see it. How about that? Just even right there. So, do you all feel like you really like who you are? Oftentimes, I hope you say yes. I like who you are. I think you're all pretty good. So there's this thing called ambition. Anybody ever heard of ambition? Look at all those adults raising their hands. Anybody here ambitious? Yes, see all those adults, yes, okay. And ambition is really an interesting thing because sometimes people can say, oh, you shouldn't be that pushy, or you shouldn't be that tall, or you shouldn't be that something. When all you're being is ambitious and trying to be the very, very best that you could be, right? We like being the very best that we can be, right? So there's this story called Ambitious Girl by Mina Harris. And this is how it goes. Don't let anyone tell you who you are. You tell them who you are, right? You tell them. When I grow up, I hope to be all the things, not just one thing, maybe 3 or 4 or 10 or 10,000. I can see in the world that's changing fast and slow, a world I'm only beginning to know. I want to go, 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 go out the gate, but sometimes all I hear is, wait. Wait, I hate waiting. Don't you hate waiting? Sometimes I hate waiting. And if I try to resist, they say, you're too that and you're too this. And those words may dim my light. But Mommy and Daddy say that words passed down can help bring me up to new heights. Standing tall. Can you stand tall? You know what standing tall looks like? Yeah. Standing tall, like a soaring tower, I am valued. I am loved. I have purpose, hope, and power. Anybody? Purpose, hope, and power? Everybody here know that they're loved? Right? All those hands should be up, really. How about this? If nobody else loves you, know that we do. Okay. Ahead of me, sisters, aunties, mothers have opened so many doors, just like Aretha did. You may be first someday, but do not be last. Always make room for somebody else to follow you. No one can tell me who I am or who I'm meant to be. Auntie says, what has always been is all they're able to see. It'll take time, and I'll claim my place and show this world this is me. You feel like that? Persistence means I won't give up. Assertiveness means I won't back down. Confident means I believe in me. Proud means I cheer for all of us in the world all around. I'm going to give these to Reverend Pam to give to all of you. Those are little pieces of paper that say ambitious and persistent and assertive and confident and proud. Ambitious means all of that and more. I have goals, but I am not keeping score. Ambitious girls get things done. If life is a race, we're ready to run. If we fall, we get back up. And if we fail, it's a chance to disrupt. How about that? I'll take up space. I'll shout if I please. Ah! Shout with me. Ah! Everybody. Ah! Sometimes shouting is the best thing. I'll shout if I want, and I'll laugh, and I'll play, and I'll jump in the sun. I'll wear the words thrown at me, and I won't take a no from anyone. I'm not afraid to make some noise. Ah! Right? I'm more than ready to use my voice because there's no to that, right? You're exactly who you're supposed to be. There's no to this. When it comes to being ambitious, ambitious girls get things done. How about that? So what words did you all get? Confident, persistent, proud, and assertive. Everybody, take these words with you out into the world that is in need of each one of those things. Be as ambitious as you want, and may the world show up for you in that way. Awesome. Thank you, and help me join singing the kids out.
Me again. Hello. Giving is the anchor that holds you through a stormy night. It reminds you who you are at your best self. With your gift, Countryside Church can be at its best. Your gifts help us fulfill our mission to create belonging, inspire curiosity, and heal our world. The offering will now be gratefully received.
And there were warm spaces in the music I loved the most, openings through which I could enter and lay my burdens down. There behind the groove and riding on the melody, I was complete and free. As you may have guessed, that was our meditation, a place to rest into it, to release any burdens we're carrying, and to allow them to be carried away onto the music and out and throughout the universe. From this space, we recognize all the joys and concerns which rest within this congregation. We have some joys today, which is wonderful. The first one is to Jeannie Scown, who has been working on that kitchen and spent days working on the floor. It is so shiny, you could see yourself. Yay, Jeannie, thank you. So much of what keeps this congregation going is just people coming and doing things because of the love in their heart. And that is such a blessing. We are going to today again send our love and care out to the Shefkus family, where Ryan had his 4th eye surgery this past week. They're trying something different this time, and so I'm asking y'all to send whatever prayers you can, that this time it works, and they can step back into some sort of normalcy and peace. We offer big congratulations to Robin Lebetz on her retirement on January 2nd after 30 years of offering her work, her joy, her effort to the public sector as a civil servant. So thank you, Robin. And congratulations to Elizabeth and Jack Van Orden, who celebrated their 18th wedding anniversary on December 29th. Elizabeth says she's grateful for the 20 years of love, support, partnership, and they look forward to the next 18 years, saying, "We should go to bed early tonight," and inevitably falling asleep watching cooking competitions, snuggled up with the dogs. May we wish that for everybody. Finally, a little sadder, deeper in our hearts, we hold our country. Many folks in our congregation may be part of a local gathering this morning protesting the killing of Renee Nicole Good on January 7th by ICE agents. A 37-year-old mother and poet, she was an American citizen caught up by the brokenness of our government. I don't know what's going to happen, but we can pray for humility, for compassion, for guidance, for love for each and every person as we walk through this dark time together. For all other intentions which rest in the silent sanctuary of your heart, know that you are held and you are loved this morning. I invite you to sing Spirit of Life with me.
Our next reading is Rolling Stone's Aretha Franklin Tribute by Mikhail Gilmore. The blues is a way of feeling hurt and defying it, taking life as it is, living in the full hollow of it, yet going on. Aretha Franklin took her pain and transmuted it into something that moved the land with her voice. There was always much more to her voice than the accommodation or even transcendence of pain. There was also a lot of sass and demand for freedom. There was moral attestation. After both Time's story and the troubles of her marriage, Franklin gained a new reputation that she never shook, and perhaps never wanted to. She was now seen as aloof and unforthcoming, and that seemed just fine with her. No matter whatever else went on in her life, singing became Franklin's affirmation, from the time she was a child seeking a solution for the day her mother walked out of the house and never came back. Things can never be that bad, Franklin told Bego. For the blind man, there's always the fellow with no feet. I've been hurt. You can't get over it all, but you can go on living and keep on looking. I'm not free yet, but I will be. I will be. Thus ends the reading. So our second reading, reams have been written describing the impact Aretha Franklin has had on our world. And when she died, Michelle and Barack Obama released this statement. Every time she sang, we were all graced with a glimpse of the divine. Through her compositions and unmatched musicianship, Aretha helped define the American experience. In her voice, we could feel our history, all of it and in every shade, our power and our pain, our darkness and our light, our quest for redemption and our hard-won respect. She helped us feel more connected to each other, more hopeful and more human. And sometimes she helped us just forget about everything else and dance. Aretha Franklin's voice wasn't amazing despite all the pain she endured. It was amazing because she was present to the whole of it and transformed that pain into a testimony, an invitation to the fullness of life. And thus ends the reading.
Those moments when you felt totally alive, when your senses were sharpened, when you could hear, see, smell, be aware of the world around you and your connection to it with incredible clarity. In those moments, we blow past all the crap that life tells us is so important, and we remember who we truly are. We remember our connection to this amazing reality in which we live and breathe and have our being. We remember that we belong. This is the gift that Aretha Franklin offered to us with her soaring voice. To listen to her is akin to picking up a high-voltage wire. You feel the depth of life flowing through her, whether she's singing respect or think or bridge over troubled waters, or any of those many, many songs which bear her imprint of the Queen of Soul. There's something in the sound that came out of her body that feels bigger than the way most of us experience life. And we can't help but lean into it because it seems to give us back a piece of ourselves, something we didn't even know might be missing. Aretha Franklin died August 16, 2018 at the age of 76. And we lost something rare and beautiful that day, a soul who could help us remember who we are. Aretha did not have an easy life. She was born in 1942 to musical parents. Her father was Clarence LaVaughn Franklin, known as CL. And he was a renowned preacher with an amazing voice and a big personality that mesmerized and inspired not only his congregations, but numerous blues and R&B singers, including legendaries like Bobby Bland. CL married Aretha's mother, Barbara Siggers, in 1936. Barbara was a big singer in her own right, said to be in the same league as Mahalia Jackson. They all ended up in Detroit, Michigan when CL began serving the New Bethel Baptist Church. And within the family of 6, all of their daughters could sing, but Aretha stood out from early on. You know how we say that everybody is connected within 6 degrees of separation? Well, it turns out that my brother-in-law, Karen's sister's husband, John Dunmore, grew up near the Franklin family in Detroit, Michigan. Jonathan's mother was also a well-known jazz singer named Jo Thompson, and she connected the two families when she sang at one of Aretha's famous storied parties. And then John's brother, Gregory, became friends with Aretha over the years. And I spoke with Gregory at length on the phone and got a sense of the woman that he knew beyond the headlines. He stressed that while Aretha Franklin lived an outside life, she never felt above anybody else. He said her faith kept her real and kept her grounded. He mentioned that she believed to whom much is given, much is required, and mentioned the phrase noblesse oblige in the conversation. She constantly gave back in ways that were uncelebrated and unnoticed because it was just really part of who she was. He said he went to many of the parties that she threw, and he was always surprised by the diversity of people that were attending because she kept all of her old friends. She invited people from all walks of life to be part of her, us. She was also a neighbor of Rosa Parks, and Gregory observed that they were much cut of the same cloth, although they were both women of strength and vision that did what they needed to do. Aretha just did it a little shinier. Other interesting facts. Aretha grew up in an affluent middle-class family playing the grand piano that was in their living room. Her mother left the family before she was 6 years old, and her dad, C.L., was reputed to be a stormy person both in and outside of the pulpit. He refused to let the children go with her. Aretha wrote that her mother's leaving and subsequent death 3 years later left her with a broken heart. Over the next few years, at age 12 and 14, Aretha gave birth to her first 2 sons. By 18, she was leaving them with her own grandmother to begin a singing career in New York City. Her career took off, but it was not the end of the hardships she endured. Michael Gilmore, again in Rolling Stone, write, "From childhood on, she saw as much pain as she did glory. She married a man who dominated her career and publicly battered her. She became a superstar only to watch her matchless and lustrous career slide for too many years, to the indifference of almost everybody who had applauded her on the way up. And then she witnessed way too many deaths, first her mother, then her father, after lingering for years in a coma from gunshot wounds, then 3 siblings to cancer," end quote. In the midst of all of that, she recorded some of the greatest standards for the women's and civil rights movements that still we hold on to today. Respect and Think, recorded shortly after Dr. King's assassination, galvanized people from across the country. In a 2015 interview with Vogue magazine, Franklin said that neither Respect or Think was recorded with political intentions. "It's important to me," she said, "of Respect, not just me or the civil rights movement or women, it's important to people. And because people want respect, even small children, even babies. As people, we deserve respect from one another," end quote. Her words are especially prescient today, aren't they? When so much harm is being done to our fellow humans, so much hatred and anger comes out of feeling slighted. The longing to matter, to belong, to have the respect and dignity of simply being human is an inherent part of our human beingness. We want to be seen. So how can Aretha Franklin's story inform us this Sunday morning? Now, most of us cannot sing the spots off songs the way she could. But each of us has a place within us where we can touch that live wire that she so effortlessly made available to everybody. Each of us is connected to life, that core flow that strengthens us and helps us to persevere. I read a lot in preparing for this sermon, but I also just listened to a lot of Aretha Franklin. And her voice wasn't amazing despite all the pain. It was amazing because you could hear the whole of it when she sang. Her voice was an invitation to the fullness of life. Any Aretha Franklin fans here today? Just a few, maybe. I loved her songs, and I belted them out with the best of them, but I never knew her full story. And I'm going to say there was always something a little bit intimidating for me. Maybe that's too big of a word, but there was something that I stepped back from with Motown and blues and R&B music. I could appreciate that it was amazing, but it didn't feel exactly mine. And I was pondering as I wrote this, why, when this music holds such depth of human emotion, have I always kept to the edges of it? And I think it really has to do with the racialized history of our country, with what we've been socialized into meaning that it means to be white or to be black, leaving aside the other colors of the rainbow in this particular moment. African American culture occupies a particular spectrum of the human American experience. And people who believe themselves to be white have been oppressing people who have been designated black for a very long time. We've been taking advantage of their talents, devaluing their humanity. And it's tainted how we see ourselves and how we separate each other, one from the other. What is mine and what is yours? What is freely offered and what has been taken? This is just my exploring, and people like Tendeka and Bayo Komolafe have explored and explained it better than me. But whiteness is about being in control. Whiteness means being on time, coloring inside the lines, following the rules, listening to the authorities. And if you do all of these things, it means you're on the right side of the street, and because you're on the right side of the street, then bad things won't happen to us. I mean, look at the uproar this week when a blonde white woman was killed by ICE. There are protests all around the country. Protests that didn't happen for the previous 9 shootings of unarmed people fleeing from ICE, or the 32 people that died in ICE custody last year. They were all black and brown people. Even the detentions of black and brown US citizens have not been met with this level of outrage. Having darker skin means you matter less in the eyes of a racialized society. And the US history of chattel slavery has left us in a uniquely horrific national mindset. Because being seen as black means that you could follow all the rules, but it didn't mean you got the same rewards. You could code switch, you could do everything that you're supposed to do to be right, but someone could still, in an instant, push you into that them category without warning or defense. And if you actually look at our history, or become woke, as some of the white nationalist crowd calls it, becoming woke simply means that you look at what's actually there, and you stop living the dream that has been sold you. So if you look, you can see that on our plantations, which made lighter-skinned Americans very wealthy, people who enslaved other human beings had to maintain strict order to keep those human beings under control, because nobody wants to be enslaved. Not following the rules might allow expensive property to get away. So violence and harsh punishments for minor infractions was all that was needed all the time to enslave people mentally as well as physically. It is such a hideous history if you actually look beyond those shiny pictures on our history books of smiling manservant slaves in the pictures. It was horrific. And for those enslaved human beings, the rules were all against them. They had no control over the externals of their lives, but you know what they did have? They had their stories. They had their experiences. The one thing white masters could not take away from them was what they knew life to be in this moment. Poet Florida Scott Maxwell writes, "You only need to claim the events of your life to make yourself yours. When you truly possess all that you have been and done, you are fierce with reality." Without the option of whitewashing their lives, African Americans owned the fierce reality that comes with seeing the world exactly as it is, finding comfort and solidarity with the deepest truth by singing out their pain. The spiritual blues which come out of that history are real and raw, acknowledging a connection to the whole of life that more protected and safe humans are insulated against. Aretha herself said, "Soul music coming out of the spirit of the black spirit. A lot of it is based on suffering and sorrow, and I don't know anyone in this country who has more of those two devils than the Negro," end quote. People who believed they owned other humans and those who identified with those owners had to shut down and give up parts of their own humanity. They had to close all of their deepest understanding that they really were connected to these humans that they were making money off of. in order to live in that profoundly dystopic reality. You can see it today in so many ways. We refuse to regulate firearms no matter how many massacres happen in our schools, because there's this deep zeitgeist of understanding that white men need to protect themselves from the black people that so much harm was done to. All you have to do is look to Australia. Australia never had chattel slavery like we did. Their colonial history included genocide of their Aboriginal people, just like we did here. But they did not have to double down on maintaining strict lines of demarcation of skin tones like we did in the US. So when they had their terrible massacre, they can respond like reasonable human beings. Since the murder at Bondi Beach, the government has created a commission to study the prevalence and growth of anti-Semitism in Australia. They've studying the key drivers of extremism and radicalization, including recommendations for law enforcement and border agencies. And they also have strengthened their already previously very strong gun laws. So before, you had to sign up and jump through hoops to have a gun, and not many people had them. But now you can have to renew that every 5 years. Because we can't even imagine doing that sort of thing here, can we? We can't even imagine it. That's one of the horrors that's left over from our history of chattel slavery in our country. And if you're not awake enough to see that, you will never be able to change that undergirding of who we are. It remains embedded in our DNA. It remains embedded in what it means to be seen as white and what it means to be seen as black. And immigrants coming into this country have been assimilated into that strange dichotomy that we will not let go of. Being white can mean being shut off from our deepest human feeling. It means to be convinced that the surface of life is what counts. It's the money that you have in the bank or the neat lawn that you keep in perfectly control with those stripes. I know, some of you have stripes, it's okay. It's the plans set by your parents of getting the right grades and going to the right schools and schmoozing with the right people that ultimately gets you to that pinnacle of success, except it's all this big lie. Because none of the window dressing that we are sold is what's so important ever makes our hearts crackle with power and aliveness. Does it? Does checking your bank account make you go, woohoo, I'm alive? Never does for me. Aretha Franklin's gift is that she opened that space to all of us. The power of her voice, the ability to hold both the soaring triumphs and the heart-rending sorrows, all within one human body, allowed us to believe that it's possible for us as well. It gave her the power behind her famous hit, Respect, because her voice was grounded in her own worth, how she knew she should be treated as a human being. And her power raised that song to an anthem defining some of the most important movements of our country. If we, and mostly white people, simply rely on Aretha Franklin and people like her, we are taking things that do not belong to us as surely as those early plantation owners did. I have one more recording to share with you today. Aretha Franklin was 73 years old when she was at a Kennedy Center honors performance for Carole King, and she delivered an iconic rendition of You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. I'm going to share that one now. Maybe at the end, okay. Okay, go home, YouTube it, Aretha Franklin, 2015, the Obama honoring Carole King, fabulous. Her experiences were electrifying, and she generously shared her gift with the world, but it was her experience. To honor her, we have to see her not as the moon that we are trying to get to, but as a finger pointing to the moon. Not as a light for our own lives, but as a guide to help us discover the own rich ground that exists in every one of our human hearts. We all carry sorrow. We have all struggled with pain. We have all had things which have weighed us down. And if we bring them up, if we hold on to them, we can be as alive and as fierce with reality as Aretha ever was. But we will never do that by shoving it down and trying to be perfect and trying to pretend that everything is always okay. We will only do that when we own the whole of our own lives, the good as well as the bad, the triumphs as well as the losses, the grief as well as the joy. Aretha gave us that amazing example, and she would be very proud if she knew each and every one of us were out there singing R-E-S-P-E-C-T, because we deserve it. You deserve it. She'd be smiling. Amen. Parker Palmer says the only way to become whole is to put our arms lovingly around everything we've shown ourselves to be, self-serving and generous, spiteful and compassionate, cowardly and courageous, treacherous and trustworthy. We must be able to say to ourselves and to the world at large, I am all of the above, end quote. So I'm going to say, I'm angry. I'm angry this morning that the music didn't work. And that's part of being human, and it's okay. Go forth today, claiming your own fierce reality. Please rise in body and spirit to sing our closing hymn, Amazing Grace, and sing it out.
Found
Please join me in saying our closing words together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of its truth, the warmth of this community, nor the fire of our commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world.